Welcome to the Spark and Plug Talks, episode 5, I think.
6.
6?
Yes.
Okay, episode 6. We are here with myself, Dylan, with J-Rod,
Hello.
and with Aaron.
Hello.
Oh, so
And
I was
our
going to
guest-
say that's a me, but I said that last time. So I'm like,
Gotta think of
Shit.
something else. Our guest today is the conquistador of chords himself, Mr. Levi Walker.
Oi.
Howdy. Thanks for
Thanks
having
for coming out, man. Yeah, hell yeah. Levi just played a couple songs for us. As usual, you know the deal. Go watch the episode and then come back and listen to this. It gives you a little more context. So, Levi, man, for those who are listening to this and somehow don't know, we are all in Levi's band with him.
me. Y'all
Levi Walker.
are my underlings.
Yeah, we're his
it's always nice to be under
dignified.
something.
Yeah, we're his dignified underlings. Yep. And man, we've been playing for the past 5-6 months, something like
Yeah,
that.
something like that.
Something
I
like
mean,
that.
at least I recall end of October and into November,
yeah.
I think, is when we started practicing together.
Yeah.
Man, it feels like not that long.
Yeah, it's been flying by. We went from practicing, like 3 days a week, every week, to
Mm-hmm.
being so busy with gigs and
Yeah,
y'all's
well-
podcast and everything.
Well,
but
we've had a bit of a break for shows. You just had so many
Yeah.
solo shows, so.
yeah,
But we're getting back into the swing of things now.
nothing wrong with that, though.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. So let's dive into those songs that you played for us earlier.
Yeah.
So we had the first one. Well, obviously we had the second one, which is "I Pray." Spoiler alert. And we're if you
God damn it.
if you know Levi, you're probably pretty familiar with that one. But he played another one that's the newer one that I think I've only heard once, like in passing.
Yeah.
So why don't you talk about that one?
Yeah, the first song I did, it's a new one I wrote. It's called "In the Middle." It's kind of like I know a lot of people who struggle, especially myself right now. Trying to struggle balancing pretty much 2 full-time jobs. With my current job, I work in Shawnee and doing the music thing full time. But I know there's a lot of other people who could kind of relate to it. It's kind of about struggling between what you want to do in life and kind of what you have to do, and kind of the things you sacrifice, along the way, because it's kind of a give and take for everything you want to do. It may not always be the right thing for you, but I really have been diving into this music thing lately, and since I've been doing this the past year and a half, it's been a wildfire, and it's just been kind of a lot to handle. Sometimes, like if I think about it, the last 2 weeks I haven't had a day off to really rest.
I'm sure it's super overwhelming at times.
Yeah,
It's like, fuck, I never get a second to just chill out.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot, and as much as you guys know too. Like shit, we play all these shows together. You got your own shows
for
going
sure.
on. You've got your projects, work, family, like trying to balance all that together. So to me, that song "In the Middle," I just think it kind of resonates, in different ways with different people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, man. And
Yeah, you
that's,
can hear in the lyrics too.
yeah, I
And,
was gonna say,
because we're kind of like, I know us, like growing up in small towns, we're all kind of raised growing up to kind of look for that settling down after high school type thing.
Yeah.
Go to college, find a job, settle down. And so we're all kind of ingrained with that. And that's what we think is normal. So doing this stuff with music's kind of like out of the normal. And so we kind of like have that primal instinct in us to want to like
Yeah.
get a family and settle down. But also we want to do this
yeah, it's
music
just-
shit. And it's music shit. It's
Yeah.
not family
I
shit.
definitely think
Yeah.
it's our environment. It definitely lends
Yeah.
itself to like, chill out a little bit. Like you're kind of, because it is hard to say like, okay, I've got to get up at 5 a.m. or something on Friday, go to work until 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever,
Mhm.
and then come home for 45 minutes and then drive to another city somewhere, play a show for 3 hours, and then get home at 1 a.m. and then wake up at 11 Saturday morning. And then it's like, well, I guess I got time to like, I don't know, go get groceries or something,
Yeah.
and then come back, and then you're like, all right, got to get ready for the show tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I think
something-
I think without it though, I mean, if I wasn't doing the music, I mean, the whole reason I got into it in the first place was because I needed an outlet,
Mhm.
when I am, by myself or sitting at home, because it's kind of tough, like we're such active not physically. I may not be physically active. If you've seen me, you know I'm not physically active.
Neither
But
am I.
like there's a lot that's going on, you know, in our minds. I think we're real creative. We have to do something with it. If not, we just kind of dwell on it, and it'll wear you out. And that's kind of why I started writing my first songs about 2 years ago.
I definitely know that feeling.
And just getting them out and doing something, it really makes you feel good as a person, you know, like
cleans you out almost.
yeah, I mean, it's getting you out, and it's something you love and you're passionate about. And I think everyone, regardless of if it's music or not, should find something they're passionate about. But not only that, like the amount of people I've met, and like fuck, even you guys, just it's cool. I mean, the people you run into, the experiences you have, things you would never do if you weren't doing it. So
yeah, for sure, man. So I know you wouldn't say you've been playing music, I guess, chasing it hardcore for more than 2 years? You said maybe a year and a half.
A year and a half solid. So
what made you want? Well, you were just like you said, you were just like, I got to get the shit off my chest.
Yeah, kind of. So my very first gig ever was it was a 4th of July pool party. One of our I went to school in Luther, and it was one of our teachers over there that taught me way back in the day. One of my mom's best friends, and she was actually at my show at the Oklahoma Opry last night with her husband, Sherry and Brett. Thank you guys so much.
Shout out to Sherry and Brett.
They were the ones that first waved the couple $100 in my face. And, hey, you want to come out for a couple hours and play some music?
Hell yeah, man.
And I was like, oh man, I'm not too sure about it. Like, I don't really know enough songs. I don't think I could play that long. They're, oh, it's fine. Just come out, hang out, and just play. And then when you're done, just be done. I was like, okay. So I go out there, and at this time I had little acoustic amp and a microphone and a stand that barely worked, and just went out there and played. I didn't know anything about how to run or mix sound, and I had Katie, my girlfriend, out there with me, and we made it happen. And other than that, it was really cool because it was the first time, I guess, I've played in front of people I didn't know, because there was other people there that were into what I was doing, you know.
Yeah.
And it was probably so bad. I mean, to be honest, it was probably so bad. But that was my first gig, was that 4th of July pool party. And then literally from there, it was a video, a share, a word of mouth, a friend tell a friend. And I just started playing gigs. And that's pretty much it. It kind of unfolded itself, and I've just kind of been playing damn near every weekend ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, for me, this is a good question. Is it easier for you to play in front of people you don't know or people you do know? Because for me, I hate playing in front of people I know.
I think it depends if it's easier or more fun.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's. I honestly don't think any of it's easy, but I think it really depends, because if you have a crowd that you have no idea who it is, I think it's real almost it makes you more anxious, because you don't know how they're going to respond to what you're playing. So you're like, wow, I hope they like this. I hope this sounds good. Because if not, I'm here for the next 2-3 hours, so buckle up. But
regardless, dude, it takes balls to play in front of anybody.
Yeah,
you know.
true.
Yeah, and we've seen it together as a band. When you play in front of people who are just really into what you're doing, it's fun. I mean, it's cool.
It's a blast for sure. See, my thing is though with that is I could play in front of people I don't know, and if I suck, I'm never gonna have to see them again.
Yeah.
Whereas I play in front of my family, I'm like, oh, they're gonna give me shit over that.
Yeah. But I also think too, the more you play in front of the same people, and at least, kind of starting out, I still consider myself starting out. But the more you play in front of them, the more feedback you can get. I think giving feedback and constructive criticism is literally the best thing ever. If it wasn't for the feedback, and after every single show I play, I ask my little inner circle of people, I was like, okay, what do you think? What were your honest thoughts about it? And they're not afraid to give you the earful if it sounded bad, or if you were shivering or shaking.
Oh yeah, we got
your
Eddie's
tail.
Mean Mug before, man.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that first practice when they came out.
Yeah,
I never felt more nervous in
for-
front of 4 people ever in my life. I was
for-
like, Jesus.
For anyone who doesn't know, whenever we first got together as a band, it was our second practice in, I think.
I mean, like I think the first one we barely even
Yeah.
practice. We just talked.
we just kind of jammed in
in
practice. But our
Yeah.
I guess our technical first practice, I invited a couple people out. And if you're listening, you probably know who they are. It was my mom, Destiny, and then Joe and Eddie, and I think Katie was there.
Yeah.
And we had them out as our test audience because I wanted them to come out and just kind of give the thumbs up or thumbs down on if what we were doing would work. And initially, it was a thumbs down. But what I did with that is all their feedback and stuff. I just brought it to the guys, and we kind of sat down and talked about it. And without that, you don't really know your direction. So I think it's always great, especially if you're in the right spot, to give good feedback.
Yeah, that's what I was
going
going to
to
say. Is that you
better.
kind of know.
Yeah.
You luckily had a pretty good idea of what you wanted, kind of to sound like. Like it wasn't since you had you played so many solo shows before,
Yeah.
and you had those. You knew, okay, I don't want a bluesy sound. I don't want like a kind of classic rock kind of sound. I want this pretty stripped down,
Yeah.
country western kind of feel to everything.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a really good way to put it because I tell you guys all the time, we walk a real fine line on kind of some of the music we play. I consider us a country / red dirt band.
We're one triplet away.
We're
bottom triplet away from getting into
Let it loose.
a little bit of rock.
we're one 5-string bass and another electric lead player
Yeah.
away from being a rock band. Like, but I think that's what makes us unique. We have a sound that isn't the run of the mill normal country 2-step and dance band and your typical get wild and raving rock band.
I think for us, it's like speaking for Dylan, me, and Jared. Like I think the three of us, we've always kind of liked country music. I know for us three, we like Sturgill Simpson a lot.
Yeah.
But we never thought about being in a country band.
Yeah,
We're-
never
we're-
in my life.
We're like rock guys.
Yeah.
And so when we put our country hats on, it's kind of like a cool. We try not to get too much into the Wetzel rock country stuff.
Yeah.
And thank God we've never gotten into that.
Yeah.
Because I realize it's really
I
easy
think-
to get into that.
I think it's really about staying authentic,
Yeah.
Everyone has their own styles, and once you kind of find that, and I've been feeling it out, I really think you try to dive in there and stick with it. Of course, over time, you may change a little bit here and there, but I think that's the important thing about writing different types of songs. Like I had someone tell me, and I'm going to call him out, Dwight. He told me, Dwight Hamlin over at Class and Recorders. I told him, I was like, man, this song kind of sounds a little rocky. And he's like, well, how about you write a country song? I was like, oh, shit. Okay. That sounds all right. I'll take that on the chin. But I mean, it makes perfect sense. I feel like you can write your song however you want it to be. But I think, especially with the songs I write, I feel like they're really flexible.
Well, they
And
sound like you. They
yeah,
sound like Levi
and-
Walker.
But they can also be played in different ways. Like they could be played stripped down acoustic, unlike some of the big mainstream songs you hear nowadays. If you heard those stripped down acoustic,
You
they
would
would
not
they would
sound
not
good.
sound good.
It
I
would.
I
mean,
think the way you approached playing music, how you started out just doing acoustic, really helped you because you can break away from the band and play acoustic, and
Yeah.
it's still familiar to your audience because
Yeah.
you've played so long being just yourself. And so you kind of have best of both worlds. With some guys, you take them away from the band, they just the
kind of naked.
songs don't sound the same
Yeah.
at all, And the way you constructed your songs sound good with a band and without a band.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that at all, for sure.
But I also think too, like with kind of what we're doing, I think it takes a whole lot of skill to keep the reins in and also like be real like thoughtful about the stuff we're playing because it's real. I mean, if you think about it, it's real intricate and
I was gonna say
sometimes
it could get really
sometimes
easy
you
to
want to let loose.
overdo it.
Sometimes and it could be real easy to overdo it.
We gotta keep ourselves in check.
And I think that's what a lot of people do, and that's why I feel I stand out a little bit is because a lot of people aren't able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying they can't eventually, but a lot of people take the easier route and just say we're gonna throw out a few power chords and
It
just
is-
let them
yeah,
rip. Like
It is like a lesson in self restraint
yeah.
and just playing what sounds best for the song.
What's cool is like the songs. Like I think we're finally kind of honing in on the dynamics of the songs,
Yeah,
and
we
we're kind of
definitely
getting the
are.
best of both worlds, where we can kind of let loose on some With some of the songs, we can rein ourselves back, but when it's time to hit that solo or that bridge
Yeah.
part, we kind of let our hair down. Then they
Well, I think like for
we kinda
instance,
let it
bottom of the
go.
bottle was like a good example of that because it was like of the whole process kind of finally coming together, in a
Mhm.
way. Like I remember the first time playing through that and
Yeah.
like cohesively, I was like, this is pretty damn good. Like
Yeah.
it sounds pretty good with
Yeah.
the full band. It sounds really good with the full
Yeah,
band.
I remember we pulled that out of Grady's, dude.
Yeah,
we kind
first
of
time,
killed it, dude.
first time
Yeah.
playing it. Yeah, I showed Aaron the other day. Someone had posted a live stream. I think Joe had posted a live stream video, and I was like, "Dude, that sounds pretty good." Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that show we did there, that was our third show.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Killer, dude.
It was
like,
the walkout, dude. That gave
Yeah.
us so much
Yeah.
confidence coming
Yeah.
in, dude.
Yeah,
Having the walk-in music or whatever.
Yeah.
Except my pants were way too tight.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, you were also like pretty dead feeling that shit.
I was.
Yeah, you were-
I was
yeah,
sick.
you were
Yeah,
sick.
that
Yeah.
was right, yeah.
One of Angeline's
My
friends,
pants
she was like,
were tight as
"Was
hell.
the
and I
drummer
was sick.
okay?" And I was like, he was sick as fuck." Because you
Mhm.
were. I look back there sometimes, and you'd be like, fucking like fading off.
I was drinking like a Diet Coke or something. That's what they had back in the green room or something. Oh
Yeah.
man, that's wild. Well, Levi, how long? When did you get started playing? Like, what made you kind of start playing?
So I started playing music about when I was 9 years old. When I was young. I mean, I would say guitar and stuff. When I was younger, I was like in middle school, like band and stuff. And
I was gonna say our first gig when we were talking about first gigs earlier was like, I guess would you say it was the cover band at high school?
Jesus,
Was that like technically
We
our
don't-
first
we don't talk
show
about
or
those
something?
days.
that's a whole podcast within itself.
Was that our
But-
first show?
But anyways,
Anyways.
I started playing about when I was 9 years old. I got my very first acoustic guitar. My kind of influence for wanting to do that was my grandpa on my mom's side. My grandpa Fred. He growing up, he was like our music. He was our music entertainment. He was our talent in the family.
Yeah.
And it was my mom, my aunt, my cousins, which I just consider my brothers and sisters. Shout out to Kristen and Trent. But we would be at the Blue River in Oklahoma, and we had that spot out there, and that's kind of where I listened to my first concert, quote unquote. But it would be just playing music and singing, or sitting around a fire, hanging out, just kind of enjoying nature and life, and it was a good time and a good feeling, and I think I kind of wanted to incorporate that into what I want to do because I wanted to replicate that.
Mm.
So when I got my first guitar, I have a lot of people in my family. I consider a lot of people like my second mom, my second
Yeah.
dads, my brothers, my sisters. I don't just call them friends and stuff. But one of my other moms, Chris, we went to Guitar Center one day, and I got this little starter like Yamaha acoustic guitar, and I took that home, and she was trying to show me some chords, and I could not I would get so frustrated because I could not for the life of me figure it out.
It was all Wonderwall and Seven Nation Army from there.
Yeah, it was a whole lot of wagon wheel from there, I tell you. But anyways, I mean, that was it. I pretty much learned a couple basic chords, and that was all it was from there on out. Like, I didn't really pursue it. I didn't do anything with it. I didn't even know. I couldn't sing and play until just about 2 years ago at the same time. So literally, this is all new to me. So when
It's hard for people to appreciate just how difficult that
yeah,
is.
so when I really say like I started playing music about 2 years ago, it's true because I couldn't really I couldn't really do it, other than just play 2 or 3 songs. I would say whenever I had graduated college, I had a little bit more freedom to do what I wanted. I'd moved out. I moved to town in Davenport, got a job in Shawnee. Our good family, Brad and Courtney Gaylord, they encouraged me to get up on stage and kind of play at the church in Davenport. So I was kind of up there just playing rhythm guitar, and I would have to separate it because I couldn't play and sing yet. So I would play rhythm on some songs, and I'd sing a couple songs, and people were really into it, and I just got more and more comfortable with it. But also at that time, as I'd mentioned earlier, you go home and you just kind of be in your own head, and you start writing some stuff down because I think the best way to get things out of your head is to write it down. And wrote a couple songs, wrote my very first song, and I played it. And you guys have all heard about it, but our spot at the lake at Lake Eufaula, I played this song in front of a couple of our family over there over and over and over and over. I was like, what do you guys think of this? And then I'd play it and do it again, and they tell me, do it again. So I'd do it and play it and say, do it again. So I played it again, and they said, I think you really got kind of something going here. Just keep writing, keep playing, keep practicing, and next thing you know, I'm playing at that 4th of July party, and then I'm getting gigs, and then here we are. You know, we're about to go to Fort Worth here in a month and play at the PBR World Finals in the Fort Worth Stockyard. So, I mean, it's just it's crazy trying to rein everything in, how fast things are moving, and it's just been insane, kind of.
Yeah, tell yourself to slow it down and like
no.
appreciate it because it'll be. God knows what we're gonna be like in a year.
Yeah,
you
for
know.
real.
Yeah, that's no.
Because I remember when we first started practicing, it was like, you're like, yeah, man, I got the chicken shack and the lumber shack lined out for us. And I was like, hell yeah, dude. We got some gigs. And from there, it was like, okay, here's this whole like 5-month itinerary of like gigs we're playing. And I was like, geez.
Well, because I remember when we first talked, I said, yeah, I'll give you guys at least 1 gig a month. And they were like, cool. And but then like 3 months go by, and we're like, all right, when are we gonna start gigging? Like,
Yeah.
Well, it's just a really cool. I mean, it's like impossible to describe just the sheer amount of work it takes just to play one show with a 4-piece band and not sound like total asshole.
Yeah.
I mean, it is like hours, and it's like I said, a second job. You know, so it's incredible. Yeah, just looking back like 6 months ago, you were like, you guys want to be my band? And we were like, okay, let's try it out. And it's like, all right,
because
we're
I mean,
going down to
shoot, we had
Fort Worth.
we had talked about it. I mean, over here after Pigfest, or was it before Pigfest?
It was after.
After
you came and
Pigfest.
cut some demos.
Yeah,
that's right.
And
Cut
we were
the
kind of like
demos.
picking your brain about what you were wanting to do. And you're like, I kind of want to get a band together, but the first band I had didn't really work out. And
Yeah. And it was interesting, but I never thought, because I knew the path I'm rolling, I was going to need one, because I can't just keep playing acoustic forever unless I'm literally the luckiest soul on earth. But I think what we've done sounds so good. Like we've done a hell of a
People
job.
seem to dig it.
Yeah,
That's for
people
sure.
dig it. So I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
I
pretty
could
happy with that.
speak for the three of us. I mean, the shows we played to actually have like crowd interaction.
I dig it.
No,
I was
it's
like,
so
holy
cool.
shit, people
Yeah.
actually like what I'm playing.
Yeah.
I dig it.
It's like Rick James says, cocaine's a hell of a drug. But I mean, you play a live show and you have crowd interaction. It's just like, whoa, this is the best feeling
Yeah.
ever.
It's cool, man.
You can almost tell when like, when you played a set and you're like, you go out there and you ask everybody how it sounded, and everybody's like, oh yeah, man, it sounded good.
Yeah.
It sounded, you're like, no, it didn't.
Yeah.
No, it didn't. But when we feel like we get like genuine reaction out of
Yeah.
people.
I mean, when you can rock the Lumbershacks ass cheeks clean off.
When you
know,
make
that's
somebody
the
cry by
Lumberjack,
playing
you know.
Simple Man,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
how you know
Yeah.
it's fucking doing it,
Dude, that
dude.
chick was- yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
That I was just like, whoa.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, cool.
I mean, it's so cool, and I'm so thankful for literally everyone that I'm surrounded with. You know, fan base
It
wise.
sounds
and
like you have an
support-wise.
incredible support system.
Dude, they're awesome, man. I mean, like, imagine those shows like without those people. You know,
Yeah.
like,
Couldn't
I mean,
even-
it makes it
without
really easy.
Eddie, without Eddie, we're all nothing.
yeah, without Eddie at a show, it is not the
Hey
same.
man, after Tumbleweed, Eddie made me feel a lot better.
yeah,
He grabbed me, dude.
Yeah.
Physically, like I thought I was going to get in a fight at Tumbleweed, and it was like, not bullshit, brother.
yeah.
And I was like, hell yeah, man.
Yeah, we love us some cousin Eddie, but yeah, dude.
Well,
I
man,
play just for Eddie. I don't play for anybody.
Yeah,
else.
no.
I just see that shining face out in the crowd, man, and I know.
Make
The,
lobe in both hands.
Double fisting it.
Levi, how'd you fall into country? Was it those shows at those stuff at the Blue River and stuff like that? Where
I
you
mean,
played
yeah, I
music?
think that's kind of my roots. I mean, and I'm not a traditionally, boot stomping, two dancing music guy.
Yeah, totally. Oh, I'm not
And-
saying like you are country.
Yeah,
and that's all you.
but
do.
I
just
listen
wanted to know.
to a lot of that kind of music, like Hayes Carl, Blaze Foley, like John Prine, people like that. Like those were kind of like
Great songwriters.
subliminally put into my brain by my by my family growing
Yeah.
up. That's kind of what I listen to, and everyone goes through phases. But I think I've been fortunate to have a very broad, interaction and interest in all sort of different kinds of music. Like everyone went through their like 2000s rock phase, their
Yeah.
alternative, and then their their metal phase and their
Rap
rap
phase,
phase,
Creed
things like
phase.
that. But
Speak
I
for
think,
yourself.
I'm
I-
still in that phase.
Come on.
That's fucking.
But I think that listening to all those and not being like real judgmental of like certain types of music, I really think it gives you the freedom to kind of pick and choose what you enjoy the best, and kind of use that to create your own kind of music. Because I think everyone's influenced by styles.
Yeah, for sure.
I just can't quite put a finger on like what I am yet. I think it's still kind of early in the game to do that, but.
It's always that's the hardest,
but
man.
yeah,
Trying to
Well, and it's total
distinct
bullshit
yourself.
too. It's like, define yourself.
Yeah.
In like one word and 2 words.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck, man, I can't.
It's
Yeah.
just, I mean, it's like you're saying though, like you have so many different ways to pull from, and like something I try to do as a musician is I try to pull from all of it. Like that's my style. It's like add a little bit of everything to it, be different. So
I'm not sure if a musician or an artist ever really like accurately describe themselves. I think other people do it for themselves, like do it for that musician.
Yeah.
and that
I think
band.
because I've had like articles written, and they're like this country musician or this red dirt musician or this Texas country musician, and I'm like, cool, that'll work.
I'm from Oklahoma, damn it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like calling something rock music or country music. It's just like now that pretty much stands for next to nothing.
40
I
or
guess.
50 years ago, you could
do that.
you could do that, but now, man, there's just so much like you were saying. You go through all these phases, when you're like,
I mean, at this point, what even defines the term country
Yeah,
music? Someone sings with a twang.
Not to talk
Yeah.
shit, but like nowadays, country is like you have a southern drawl or a twang or some sort of
and that's
accent,
it. That is
and
it.
then they throw a trap beat behind it. I'm
And
like,
I'm gonna be honest. I don't really think I have like that big of an accent.
You
Like
don't
at
have
all.
an accent. All
Wait,
your
I was
voice
Wall, it's country
traditionally
music,
isn't
you know what I'm
country.
saying?
No.
Your voice is very much like not country at all.
I could if you want me to.
Please don't. Like,
Please don't.
oh,
life's a garden. Can you dig it?
Yeah.
it's kind of setting it's setting you outside from a lot of people.
Yeah,
you know?
I think you should just. Like you've always done, just stick to being yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much what it comes
it's
down
worked
to.
for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, all right. Well, awesome. You guys got any more questions for Mr. Walker here? What's your favorite beer?
Corey latte.
Hell yeah,
One-
Coors Latte.
Ones that go down cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
An
we
open
can talk
one.
about some
I
of
don't think I've
the
ever
some of the
seen Levi
shows.
decline
You know,
beer.
some
Yeah,
of the cool shows we got
What
going.
are some shows we have coming?
We
Well, our
can-
next show's at Butcher.
Yeah, we can
That's right.
April
we're on the
April
board.
28th,
29th.
29th. Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, so Butcher Barbecue in
7
Wellston,
o'clock, I think,
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wilson,
And
Oklahoma.
then after that, we've got a pretty much 3-day string of shows in a row. May 12th at the Chicken Shack.
Mm-hmm.
May 13th, we're opening
Avery Stinnett.
Avery
at
Stinnett
Grady's.
at Grady's in Yukon. And then the 14th will be in Fort Worth
that
Stockyards.
weekend's gonna be fun, man.
And then
It's
Get
gonna
a
be a
bus and
blast.
shit. That'll be awesome.
it's been a blessing for sure, to say the least. So
Where can everybody find your stuff?
right now, I think the best thing to do is to hit us up on Facebook and Instagram, and then on April 14th, we'll have a live demo dropping, a 5-song live
yeah.
demo that we're pretty excited about. So I know it's been a long time coming to put out
You
music.
already
but,
know.
That's another
Hopefully.
thing. When are those EPs supposed to come out, or has that been released yet?
We're working on releasing, a few singles here in the coming months, but it'll be a while till those are
I
done.
was gonna say you're gonna
Okay.
trickle this thing probably down until like what, October or November?
Yeah,
something like that?
probably.
Okay.
I mean, but I think
Tends to be
for
almost.
now the 5-song demo that we did together
That's gonna hold over
No,
people.
for
here
sure.
at the studio, I think that'll be pretty cool because
Yeah.
they sound great. So
I was gonna say they sound good for
Yeah.
man, just being in
Being in
a
a
live
room,
in
yeah.
there and just
Yeah,
knocking them
it
out. They sound
So-
Came
pretty
out
good.
sounding pretty decent. Yeah, it was fun.
So, pretty stoked about that. April 14th. Mark your calendars.
Yeah, and that's just Levi Walker. You can find him, like you said, Facebook, Instagram. You find this up on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, and you can find the podcast everywhere else. You
And
might
for
find
people
your
wondering,
podcast.
Levi Walker is his real name. That was not a made up country name.
Yes.
He was blessed to
Yeah.
have a great country name.
There's not like at least once a show, if not once a show, every other show, I introduce myself as Levi Walker, and someone comes to me and they go, "Damn, that's a nice name."
That's what I'm saying, man. We need to be Levi Walker and the Texas Rangers. People would lose their shit.
Yeah.
It's almost as good as like Shooter Jennings. That's a great fucking
Dude, that's
country
great.
name. But like, yeah, that's a good country name.
Yeah, well, hell yeah.
All right, Levi, thank you so much for coming in. This has been the Spark and Plug Talks. I'm Dylan.
I'm J Rod.
Round Dog signing off.
See you guys.